You ever notice something strange about American roads? It's never the people who look rich driving the most expensive vehicles. It's a random Tuesday morning, you're stuck in traffic, and suddenly, there it is. A massive pickup truck, pristine paint, premium trim, probably costs more than most people's yearly salary. And that's when the question hits you. How is this normal? Because statistically, it shouldn't be. Today, I want to break down how millions of Americans are driving vehicles they realistically can't afford, and why the system makes it feel completely reasonable. This isn't about shaming anyone. This is about understanding the financial trap that's become standard in the US. When Americans buy cars, we don't ask the most important questions. We don't ask, what does this actually cost? Or, what am I giving up for this? We ask one question. What's the monthly payment? And that single question has quietly destroyed more household budgets than almost anything else. Right now, the average new car payment in the United States is over $700 a month. For trucks and SUVs, which dominate the American market, payments over $900 are common. Payments above $1,100 aren't rare anymore. 10 years ago, those numbers would have sounded insane. Today, dealerships barely blink. Why? Because the system learned how to hide pain. Loan terms did the heavy lifting. Car loans used to be short. 3 years was normal. 4 was pushing it. Now, 6, 7, even 8-year loans are standard. Some lenders are offering 10-year auto loans, which should honestly make everyone uncomfortable. Here's the trick. Stretch the loan long enough, and almost any vehicle looks affordable. A $60,000 truck over 4 years feels impossible. That same truck over 8 years suddenly fits the budget. But nothing got cheaper. The cost just got buried. Longer loans don't help buyers, they help dealers move inventory. The American trade-in cycle. Here's where the trap tightens. Cars lose value fast, especially in the first few years. With long loan terms, many drivers end up owing more than their vehicle is worth. That's called negative equity, and it's shockingly common in the US. So what happens? They want something newer, something nicer, and the dealership offers a solution. We'll roll what you owe into the next loan. Now they're paying for the old car stews, the new car is a say, and interest on both. They're making payments every month, yet their debt barely shrinks. It feels like progress. It's actually quicksand. Why Americans accept this as normal? If someone told you they spent $1,200 a month on clothes, you'd worry. If they said they spent that on entertainment, you'd stage an intervention. But a car payment? That gets a free pass. Why? Because in the US, cars stopped being transportation a long time ago. They became identity. Trucks signal toughness. SUVs signal responsibility. Luxury badges signal success. Car companies don't sell engines, they sell self-image. So when someone defends a massive car payment, they're not defending numbers. They're defending who they believe they are, the sacrifices nobody posts about. Here's the part you don't see on Instagram. To afford these payments, many Americans live in smaller apartments, delay buying homes, skip vacations, carry zero emergency savings, take second jobs just to cover vehicle costs. Some use credit cards to pay for fuel, insurance, and repairs. Others borrow from retirement accounts. Some even tap home equity. They reorganize their entire financial life around something that loses value every year. That's not freedom. That's obligation with leather seats. The real cost of a manageable payment. Let's run a very American example. A $55,000 truck. 7-year loan. Average interest rate. By the time the loan is done, loan payments, about $67,000. Insurance, $20,000 or more. Fuel, roughly $30,000. Maintenance and repairs, at least $15,000. Total, over $130,000. And what do you own at the end? A vehicle worth maybe $15,000? That's not transportation. That's long-term wealth destruction, the real cost of a manageable payment. Let's run a very American example. A $55,000 truck, 7-year loan, average interest rate. By the time the loan is done, loan payments, about $67,000 payments. Insurance, $20,000 or more, roughly $30,000. Maintenance and repairs, at least $15,000. Total over $130,000. And what do you own at the end? A vehicle worth maybe $15,000. That's not transportation. That's long-term wealth destruction. What that money could have done instead. Here's the uncomfortable comparison. If someone invested that same $800 monthly payment into a basic index fund earning around 8%, they'd have tens of thousands of dollars after 7 years. Instead of stress, they'd have options. Instead of depreciation, they'd have growth. But this comparison rarely gets made at dealerships. For obvious reasons. Why people stay trapped. Once someone commits to an extreme car payment, logic becomes emotional. Driving something cheaper feels like downgrading, like admitting failure, like losing status. So they defend the payment even when it blocks everything else financially. The auto industry understands this psychology perfectly. That's why sales conversations never focus on total cost. They focus on monthly comfort. How does this payment feel? Not, where will this leave you in 5 years? The truth behind those expensive vehicles. Most Americans driving $70,000 trucks aren't rich. They're leveraged. They aren't winning the system. They're surviving inside it. So the next time you see an insanely expensive vehicle in traffic, remember, you're not looking at financial success. You're looking at a carefully structured payment plan. And sometimes, the smartest financial move isn't upgrading your ride. It's refusing to let a depreciating asset dictate your future.
Enjoyed the video? Drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more. Catch you in the next one.